talked about the contiguous memory allocation. Okay, so contiguous memory allocation says that, okay, so suppose if you're going to allocate a process to your memory, okay, so your memory has to be contiguous. So that means all the instructions of your process have to be one after the other. Okay, so suppose in the previous case where we are saying about the holes. Okay, so you may have holes created, okay, in your memory as the process finishes its execution and they keep on going. Okay, so as different processes are keeping on living, okay, so the holes may be created of different sizes. Okay, so memory may be there, but free memory may be there, but it is scattered. Okay, so that you are calling it as a external fragmentation. Okay, now sometimes you have seen that, okay, so whenever here you are getting a request, okay, to locate a memory for a process, okay, so though the memory is available, okay, so but because it is not contiguous, okay, it is not continuous in space, so you cannot allocate. Okay, so because the process has to be allocated, okay, so in sequence one after the other. Okay, so because of that external fragmentation is there, so you cannot allocate a memory to a process even though it is showing that there is a free memory available. Okay, so because there are holes there, okay, which are not continuous and they are scattered. Okay, so to avoid that, so one of our technique, memory management technique, is a paging technique. Okay, so in paging technique we can allocate a process, okay, so even if you are not having the continuous space in the memory. Okay, so we are saying that address space of a process can be non contiguous. Okay, so here that's the advantage, so where we are going to overcome the external fragmentation. Okay, so actual physical memory is divided into fixed size blocks called as a frame. Okay, and logical address space, what the user is viewing, what your CPU is viewing, is divided into a same size of blocks. We are calling it as a pages. Okay, so physical memory is divided into equal fixed size blocks called as a frame, and logical memory is divided into same size, okay, blocks, okay, called as a pages. Okay, now we have to keep track of the all the free frames whatever available with the operating system. Okay, and now the operating system maintains a free list, okay, so which is keeping track of which frames have been free. Okay, so suppose if you want to run a program of size n pages, you need n frames. Okay, so to make fit n pages, okay, so we need n frames. Okay, so and load those pages into the respective frame. Okay, so to keep track, okay, so which page has gone to which particular frame, okay, because your page frames are scattered, okay, your memory, wherever free memory is available, so there your pages are allocated. Okay, so to keep track of that, okay, so where which frame, which particular page has been loaded in. Okay, so to keep track of all the changes in that, so we set up a page table which translates your logical address to your physical address. Okay, so in this case we can have a internal fragmentation. So previous video we are speaking about internal fragmentation. So internal fragmentation is saying that, okay, so a little extra memory is allocated to your process even if it is not required. Okay, suppose if you are having a page of size, okay, so your page is there, so which is like, suppose you think that, okay, so we are having, okay, we have divided a process, okay, so into 4 pages. Okay, so 4 pages. Okay, so each page may be of 2k. Okay, your frame is also divided into 2k. Okay, so but your program is 7.8k. Okay, so each page is of 2k, so each frame is of 2k. Okay, but the total size, okay, if you are taking this as a physical memory, if you are taking this as a phrase, okay, so your program, if it is of size 2.8k, okay, so 2.8k, so means 7.8k. okay, so now here what we can do, so if you are dividing into equal pages, okay, so here 2 plus 2 4 6, okay, so 3 pages will go right into 3 frames. Okay, so an extra content of your physical your process, okay, which will be left over by your 1.8k. Okay, so for this 1.8k, what we do, we are not looking out of a frame because frames are of equal size called as a fixed size. So we just allocate 1.8k of a last page, last set of instruction to the frame. Okay, so 0.2k of memory is extra allocated, so that is a extra memory given, so that is called as a internal fragmentation. Okay. So now here, so this is how we are going to deal okay, with the allocation of your pages. Okay. So here to have an address, okay, so we have to translate the we need to have address translation scheme. Okay, so address generated by your CPU will have a page number and page offset. Okay, so page number will be used, you know, as an index into your page table. Okay, and a page offset, okay, so it is normally combined with base address to define the physical memory address that is actually sent to your memory unit. Okay, so here, so you can see it here. So you have a paging hardware. So this question is very important from exam point of view. Okay, so you have a paging hardware here. Okay, so you have a CPU. So the logical address generated by your CPU will be consisting of page number and offset. Okay, so this page number is, okay, acting like a index, okay, in the page table. Okay, so index in the page table. So we'll be just learning the example. You will understand clearly, okay, how your program is there, okay, how you are having a pages, how you are dividing and all that. Okay, so CPU generates a logical address which is having the page number and the offset. So this page number is acting like an index. Okay, so you can start searching 0 1 2 3. Okay, so this is acting like an index. So suppose if you are here you are searching for a page 4. Okay, so this index will find a frame number. So this is a frame number where which is exactly in the physical memory where your page will be stored in. Okay, so this is a frame number. Okay, so this frame number we are going to use. Okay, and this D is an offset which is defining, so which will be added to your base address to actually get the thing. So here we are having F, so this F you may be finding it here. So this is a frame where we are actually storing the exact page. Okay, so we'll just see how it is there. Okay, so this is a paging model what we can see it here. Okay, so just see the paging model of logical and physical memory. Okay, so just see here, this is your logical memory, so that means this is your process. Okay, so now here my process, my program, okay, so is divided into, okay, it is divided into 4 pages. Okay, page 0, page 1, page 2, page 3. So this is called as a logical memory. Okay, and then to map, okay, to map the logical memory, okay, to map this logical memory, okay, so we are having the page table. Okay, now this page number is forming the index into your page table. Okay, so page 0, okay, page 1, page 2, page 3. Okay, so page 0 we have a frame 1. Okay, so this is a frame 1, so this is a actual physical memory, so this is a frame number. Okay, so page 0 is having the entry as 1, so this is a frame number. Okay, so at this particular frame number we are having page 0. Okay, so likewise page 1, so this is forming a index, okay, index into your page table at page 1, so we are having a frame number 4. So at frame number 4, okay, you can see this is a frame number 4, so we are having a page 1. Okay, so likewise we are having page 2, so here is a page 2, so we are having frame number 3. So at 3, frame number 3, we are having page 2. Okay, so likewise page 3, this is an index into your page table, so we are having a frame number 7. So here frame number 7, okay, so you are having a page 3. Okay, so now your process, okay, so your process is having 4 pages, page 0, page 1, page 2 and page 3. Okay, now this is allocated at frame 1, okay, frame 4, frame 3, okay, and frame 7. Okay, now the other frames in the physical actual memory, in the physical memory or into your RAM, may be free or maybe might have been allocated to the other process. Okay, so this is a page table for this particular process. Okay, so for everything we have a page table which is actually mapping your logical address space to the actual physical address space. Okay, so this is a paging example, we just see it here. Okay, so let me just okay, paging example. Okay, just see it here. Now see it here. Okay, Now this is your logical memory. Okay, previous example, okay, what we had seen. Okay, so previous example we had just seen page 0. Okay, you had a frame 1. Okay, so now in this case, okay, so this is your page 0. Okay, so this is your page 0. Okay, you can take it to be a page 0, page 1. Okay, so this is your page 2. Okay, so this is your page 3. Okay, so we have 4 pages and each page is of size 4 bytes. Okay, so each page is of size 4 bytes. So previous example we had seen that was having only 1 byte. Okay, now here each page is of size 4 bytes. Okay, now this page number is forming as index to the page table. Okay, now page 0 we are finding the entry frame 5. Okay, so this is a frame 5. Okay, so frame 5 now. Okay, so your frame 5 is here. Okay, so this if you can take it as a index. Okay, so frame 0, frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5. Okay, now the starting address of this one, okay, how we have got. Okay, so because so for accessing the page 0, okay, so you are having an entry as 5, page 5. Okay, for page 0. Okay, so for page 0, okay, so for page 0, okay, so your page 0, page 0 is an index to this. Okay, you're having a frame number 5. So if I'm searching for a frame, I'm getting it here. Okay, so now this frame number is 5. Okay, so we have to multiply that by the size of your page. Okay, so page size is of 4 bytes, each one character. A is 1 character, we have 4 character, page size is 4 bytes. Okay, so 5 into 4, okay, is actually what? Okay, 20. Okay, so 5 into 4 is 20. Okay, so here we are saying 20. Okay, so your first character, first instruction of your page 0 is starting at 20. Okay, now to access the next, so this is your, okay, to access the next instruction here, okay, you need to add the offset. Okay, so here if you are taking 5 into 4, okay, so this is actually 5 into 4 plus, okay, offset is 0 for A. Okay, so 5 into 4, okay, so plus 0, okay, so plus 0, okay, is equal to 20. Okay, so this is, we are getting the access for A. Okay, so this is a index 0. Okay, now for getting the access for B, so we are we need, okay, so again 5, okay, is a frame number, 4 is a size of your page, okay, plus, okay, to get the access for B we need to add a offset. Okay, so that is 1. Okay, so we will be getting 21. Yeah, so that is actually your B. Okay, so 21 we get B, 22 we get C, and 23 we get D. Okay, so now this is actually your D. Okay, so likewise, okay, so let me take, okay, so you are having next one. Okay, so page 1, okay, you are having a frame number 6. Okay, so frame number 6 into 4 is, okay, 6 4s are 20. Okay, so where are you having E? Yeah, 24. Okay, 6 4s are 24, we are having E. Okay, so now here, okay, so for page, okay, okay, for page 1, okay, so, okay, for page 1 frame number is 6. Okay, 6 into, okay, 6 into 4 is 24. Okay, so 6 into 4 is 24 plus offset is 0. Okay, so you will be getting, okay, 24. Okay, so that is for E. Okay, so likewise you get 25, okay, by adding the offset for F. Okay, by adding the offset for F. Okay, so likewise, okay, for if you are taking page 3, okay, you are having 2, so 2 into 4 8, okay, so 8 plus 0 is 8, so you are getting m, okay. So like that you will be, if you are adding offset, you will be getting n, o, p and so on, okay. So in this way we are actually making calculation, mapping your logical address to your physical address, okay. So this is how your page table is used to map the logical address to your physical address, okay, and making of the calculation, okay. So this is how your pages, okay. So the size here, for simplicity we are actually using a small page size. Practically we'll be having the larger page size and all, and you will have a particular hardware for doing the mapping, okay. So now here, okay, so you can see it here. So so free frames, okay. So free frames, always the operating system keeps tracks of a free frame list, okay. So now it is showing the free frame list is 14, 13, 18, 20 and 15, okay. Now you have got a new process, okay, so which need to be allocated, so which is having 4 pages, page 0, page 1, page 2 and page 3, okay. So in this way it is having the 4 pages, okay. So now this is okay, before allocation, okay. So before allocation, okay, so this is the thing, and after allocation, okay, you can see that, okay, so this is before allocation, okay, and after allocation you can see that, okay. So free frame list is 14, 13, 18, 20 and 50 before allocation. So after this page is allocated, okay, so page 0 is allocated at 14, okay, likewise page 1 is allocated at frame number 13, so page 2 is allocated at frame number 18, page 3 is allocated at page frame number 20, okay. So once all these are allocated, now they are no more free, so in the free frame list you will have left only the frame 15, okay. So here you had so many frames in the free list, okay. Now because they are all allocated to this new process, so you are left with a 15. So like this the operating system keeps track, okay, of the free frames after always, okay. Now implementation of a page table, okay. Now we have we know that the process is also stored in the memory, okay. So now because we were facing problem, okay, we were facing a problem with a contiguous allocation, so we came up with a new technique called as a paging, so where we don't expect a memory to be contiguous in nature, so we can have memory even non-contiguous. So we divide your memory into free frames, okay, fixed size frames, and logical memory into pages, okay. Now to map this thing, map the logical address to physical address, we keep another table called as a page table. So that table also should be there in the memory only, okay. So that table is also created in the memory, okay. So for that you require, okay, how do you implement a page table? So page table base register, okay, points to the page table, okay, and length register indicates the size of your page table, okay. So here what we do now in this scheme, okay, every data or instruction access, okay, suppose if CPU is running that particular program, always it is accessing the instruction or a data from the memory, okay. So to access every data or instruction always requires a 2 memory access, one for page table and another for your data instruction, because you know that in normal scheme it can directly access an instruction from the main memory and then it is getting into your IR and then decoded followed by execution, okay. But in this case, in the paging technique, what it has to do is, okay, so it cannot directly access any of instruction, okay. First it has to access the page table. From page table it will get the address of your page, okay, and then it is accessing your instruction from the actual physical memory, okay. So for page table is also there in the physical memory, but first access will go for your page table and then it has to access the main memory, okay. So here always 2 memory access are involved, okay. So that means though we are avoiding a memory problem, okay, that is we have avoided the contiguous allocation problem and utilize the memory in the best manner, but the thing is, okay, so it has increased our time for accessing the instruction or your data. So this can be reduced, okay. So because memory, you know that memory access time is always larger, okay. So because we have seen that whenever we are trying to read anything from your registers, now it will be faster, or a cache it is faster, but memory access time it will take it will consume more time, okay. that consumes more time. So what we have to do now, okay, what is the solution for this? Okay, so for this purpose, so what we are doing is, okay, so you are using another hardware, okay, called as a cache, okay, fast lookup hardware called as a associative memory or transition look aside buffer. Okay, so because to reduce the memory access time, because always we require a 2 memory access for this, okay, so because to reduce the memory access time, we introduce one more hardware called as a special fast lookup hardware called associative memory or translation look aside buffer. Okay, now this is a hardware. Okay, so hardware means now we will store some of our entries. Okay, so frequently access instructions like frequently access pages can their details can be stored in TLB, so that accessing a hardware is faster than accessing in the memory. Okay, like how you use a cache for storing a frequently accessed instruction. So here frequently accessed pages, okay, so those entries can be stored in a transition look aside buffer. Actually it will be costlier than your memory, but to reduce the memory access time we are doing this. So frequently access pages and all those details can be stored in this, so that the memory access time is reduced. Okay, so this we are calling it as a TLB. Okay, some TLB store address space identifiers, okay, in each TLB entry, which uniquely identifies each process to provide the address space protection for that process. Okay, so now some TLB, now here memory means you can have page table for every process. Okay, now here what we are doing, okay, so we are not keeping a page associative TLB or TLBs for every process. We have only one TLB for all the process. Okay, so you may have different page tables for different process, but here we're not doing that. So you keep one TLB for all the process, that's a hardware. Okay, now how does it identify the entries, okay, of one process from the other process? For that it takes another field. Okay, it takes the address space identifier, okay, which will differentiate the pages of one process from the other process. Okay, so we were talking about the transition lookup buffer. Okay, it is nothing but your associative memory. So associative memory is actually the faster memory. Okay, so there we can perform the parallel search using the hashing techniques and all. Okay, so which reduces your search time. Okay, so now you know that TLB is containing it will have the list of all the pages, okay, very frequently accessed pages, okay, important pages. You can keep the entries, okay, because we want to avoid the 2 memory cycle. So memory access time will be long. Okay, so instead of that we are keeping a search in the associative memory or TLB. Okay, so which is actually the faster one. Okay, so which also contains the memory address identifier for each process. So that means we'll have some of our contents, okay, important pages are from the all the process. Okay, so here page number will form the index, okay, and frame number will give you the entry for a that particular page. Okay, so where which frame your process page will be available. Okay, so now here we have as we had, okay, logical address consists of your page number and offset. So here address translation also will have a page number and the offset. Okay, so P is in a associative register. Okay, so this is the index, okay, which is there in the associative register. So when P is there, okay, when P is present, okay, so we get a frame out. Okay, so otherwise frame may not be there in the page table. Okay, so that is a drawback here. Okay, in the page table what we do is, so one page table per process. In that page table, so whatever pages are active in the memory, so all the entries we may find. Okay, but here we may have a limited entries. Okay, so if a page is existing there, okay, then we take out a frame number. So otherwise, so we need to again go and search the page table, okay, for that particular entry. So that is a drawback here. So if a page number is existing, so that is called as a TLB hit, otherwise it is called as a TLB miss. Okay, so there is a hardware, paging hardware with a TLB. Okay, you can see there is a paging hardware with a TLB. So where we are going to have, okay, so your So your CPU, so CPU is generating your logical address, which comprises of your page number and offset. Okay, so this page number is first checked in the TLB. Okay, so this is a faster memory, so within no time it will give you the frame number. Okay, so if it is found, so this is called as a, so if it is found at this particular thing, so you take a frame number out, so this is called as a TLB hit. So you take this particular frame number, okay, and then you take offset, so you get a access to your physical address. So in case, okay, in case if your page number, whatever it is generated in the logical address, is not present in the TLB, then it will be your TLB miss. Okay, so in TLB miss, this page number again will be searched in the page table, so where you get a frame number. So this frame number, okay, so the calculation I have just shown you how we are in the previous example. Okay, so same way the calculation is done and you're actually generating the physical address. Okay, so now let's see what will be the effective access time, okay, in the associative lookup buffer. Okay, so now associative lookup buffer, so if it is taking epsilon time unit to make a search, okay, so assume that assume memory cycle time is 1 microsecond. Okay, now hit ratio says that, okay, percentage of time that a page number is found in your TLB. Okay, so percentage of time that a page number is found in the associative register. Okay, so ratio is related to the number of associative registers whatever you are going to have. Okay, if hit ratio is alpha, okay, the time taken for your associative lookup, okay, the time taken to look into your TLB is epsilon. Okay, and how many times, okay, it is going to hit, so that means how many times if you search. Okay, so 100 times if you are going to search. Okay, so hit ratio, so if you are defining by alpha, okay, so 90 times it is hit, so 90 times out of 100 times, if 90 times we have found, so then the hit ratio will be 0.90. okay, so like that. So now we will be calculating a effective access time. Okay, now you think that to access a particular page, okay, so access a particular page, if memory access cycle, see you need, you were earlier without TLB you were needing 2 memory access cycle. Okay, so now we need 1 memory access cycle to access the instruction of page. Okay, so because we assume the memory cycle to be 1 microsecond, so this is that 1 microsecond. Okay, so plus, okay, epsilon is a time which is less than 1 microsecond, okay, to search in the lookup buffer. Okay, so now this into hit ratio, okay, effective access time. Okay, so is 1 is for memory access cycle for your instruction. Okay, so 1 is for searching the frame number. Okay, I mean epsilon is a searching the frame number, and 1 after searching the frame number, so you take 1 microsecond to access the instruction into the hit ratio. Okay, so this is 1 when your page is TLB hit. Okay, when you are having a TLB hit. Okay, next when you are having a TLB miss. Okay, so here epsilon time is required because first you are searching in TLB. Okay, suppose if it is not found in TLB, so that is it is TLB miss. Okay, so TLB miss, then you have to go and search in the page table. Okay, so that takes 1 microsecond searching in the page table. Okay, because we have assumed memory cycle is 1 microsecond. Okay, so 1 microsecond for searching in page table, 1 microsecond for getting the instruction from the physical memory, so that is 2. So the total access time will be 2 plus epsilon into. Okay, so because we are taking this for a TLB miss, so this is 1 minus alpha. Okay, why minus alpha? Okay, see, because if 90% is hit ratio, then 10% will be miss ratio. Okay, see here suppose, okay, 90%, if you are taking 0.9, okay, or out of 100, okay, so 90 times, okay, if I am taking, it is hit. Okay, so 90 times it is hit. Okay, then miss will be equal to 10. Okay, so out of 100, 90 times if it is TLB hit, then miss will be equal to 10. Okay, so that means for 100 if I am taking a percentage as 1. Okay, so this as 0.9. Okay, so how to calculate the miss ratio? 1 minus 0.9. Okay, so this is your alpha. Okay, so which is defining your hit ratio. So 1 minus of alpha, okay, is defining the TLB miss. Okay, so this is 1 minus of alpha. Okay, so this thing is saying, okay, so access time when it has TLB hit. So this is saying access time when it has TLB miss. Okay, so when we solve this overall equation, we'll be getting 2 plus epsilon minus of alpha. Okay, so this is your effective access time. Okay, so when access time for including, which is representing both TLB hit and TLB misses, that is average access time. Okay, so now we'll stop here. Okay, so next video will come about your